All right. Get this link going here. All right. Should be all set here. All right, what up? You in a hurry today? Okay, so I'm just gonna review a couple things from the end of last week, kind of over the um weekend here, and then also some of the price action this morning. Um, this has been a lot of fun. And I'll tell you why. It's been some of like the most it's been some of the most like you don't even have to really think about it with how simple some of this trading has been, and I'll take a brief look at what I mean by that. I'm just gonna hide some stuff here. We'll get rid of some of these things and we'll update our charts as well. But if you just look at this here, I want you guys to like really think of these as being small zones, okay? Like when it comes to channel trading, I don't want you to think of these as exact levels here. So we had this channel here, right? And it formed from here to here. And then look at all of the trades: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades just out of this channel alone. And channel trading, what do? You long the bottom, your stop loss below the range low, okay? And you short the top. In this case, we kept taking out the highs, so that's something you have to be considerate of when you take these trades. And maybe use other confluence, like we had a weekly here at 28,800, so I was put my stop loss there while shorting the top, and you take profit at the midline and at the opposite side of the channel. So that worked really well here. I personally, last week, and I called it all out in the Discord, we took 4 different trades out on this zone here that we talked about in the Discord each and every time it happened. We were 4 out of 4 on this one, and it was awesome. We all made some good money on it. It was great. So the same thing over the weekend. I don't typically trade weekend moves. It's not something that I do. But I posted this chart when price was, let's go back. I'll show you exactly where we were. Price was trading right here. And I posted this exact channel and I said, I have a hunch that this is the new channel, right? So back to what we would normally be doing. We short the top, long the bottom, right? And since I posted this on Saturday morning at around 9, we had 1 short, take profit, flip long, take profit, deviation. I took this trade, long, take profit, and then I longed here, took profit here, all within this 30-minute candle. This was actually pretty cool. This just happened today. I didn't even have time to say anything, but I did post again the channel in the Discord, or the chart in the Discord. I longed here, took profit at the midline, came down, and I'm not in any trades right now at all. I totally closed out just before the live stream because I didn't want to be in active trades while I was streaming for you guys. I wanted to be focused on the charts. Again, I posted a channel on Ethereum. Now, this channel here on ETH has since been broken, right? So on this channel, again, you can see the same thing, right? It formed basically here and here. And since then, 1, 2, 3, 4 different trades that you could take, right? I actually took, again, I actually longed here and took profit here. And look at that. You know, I got in, took my profits here. I didn't bag hold where I was hoping for some mega pump. I know a lot of people are doing that right now where they're, you know, aping into longs and they're just hoping for a crazy run. I'm not doing that, right? I'm following my trading plan. I'm taking my profits where we see fit. And it's so simple. It's so simple. All you have to do is short the top of the range, long the bottom of the range, take profit at the midline and at the opposite side. That's how simple it is. And I always keep my stop losses, you know, at previous highs or previous lows, right? It's that simple. That's how simple it is. And you know, in the last 2 weeks here, I've personally taken 6 trades, the 2 that I told you about this morning, the 4 last week, and there's been I think about 8 to 10 trades total on both of these channels, and it was literally that easy. So let's go back to BTC. I'm going to teach you guys a little bit of a trick, something that I like to do, especially if you guys are trading on your desktops. This is something that I love to do, and I can't recommend it enough. So here I am. I have my 30-minute chart open. I love the 30-minute time frame. I typically don't go lower than that. Maybe I'll go to a 15-minute to help dial in my entries. But I'll sit on a 30-minute time frame, and that's how I take my channel trades, right? I'm trading my channels based on my 30-minute time frames. And then I go to my tab over here. Here I have my 4-hour time frame chart with some, you know, higher time frame levels on here that I want to keep in mind. One of those being if we were to get more of a significant move down, I like a couple different spots here. One, I like this trend line we have. I also like the value area high in the 618 kind of a zone here. So basically this previous channel, right? If we go back to our you know, 30-minute time frame here, and we do a fib pull from here to here, we can see that the 618 falls right on top of our previous channel. So in the event that we were to lose this channel and start falling, you better believe that I'm going to be longing right here, at least for a scalp. There's no way I'm going to miss that. I will definitely be longing here for a scalp. Okay. Now, another thing that I said to a lot of people last week in the Discord, I'm not doing limit orders. So when I say I'm going to trade this, I don't have limit order set at 21,400 or whatever. I don't have limit order set in here. And the reason why is because with how volatile prices and how crazy it can get breaking in and out of these channels, if you set it here, well, what happens if it just falls through and maybe it goes to the bottom of the channel and we're back to trading this channel again? Well, you just got stopped out and lost some money. So what I'm going to do instead is I wait for price to come down. If I see it bounce here and hold a support, I'll open up a long and I'll trade it back to, you know, wherever I'm sort of looking at. Would I short if we broke the current channel? I would consider a short on a back test. I would prefer to short at the top of the channel. Because look, we're still holding this range, right? We had a range deviation here. We swung below it one more time here. And now we can see that we're, you know, basically just, it looks like it's going to try to make another run for the mid-range. So kind of depending on what happens, I would, if I was going to short, I would prefer to short up here. Would I short a break of the channel? I would if it was really, so here's the thing. We had one range deviation here. I doubt we would get a second one. Okay, I don't think that we would get a second range deviation to the downside. Could we get a range deviation to the upside? Yeah, absolutely. We could see something like this, kind of come here, come up like this, and then go like this, come back down, and then rotate the channel again. So we could get a deviation to the upside, right? We could get one of these, but up here, sure. But I don't think that we would get a second range deviation to the downside. So if we were to come here and range a little bit and come back down and do the same kind of pattern and come back right here, I would consider a short here. I really would. I would consider a short here only because we had this deviation, and I doubt we would get a second one here. I don't think that that's very likely. I think that if price does break down below this channel again, like this, in a more significant way, on the back test, I doubt we would do this. I really don't think that that would be likely. I would say it's more likely that we would, have then a move down. All right. And what you could do is, if that is something that you wanted to do, this is just a position, that you could do basically, put it above the midline and, target the 618 would kind of be your setup, right? You could put your stop loss just above the midline, essentially, and trade that down to the 618 and the previous range here. This would be a fair trade. Could price come up and do that again? It could, but again, like if we do a true deviation where we're getting 15, 30-minute closures below the range again, like we did here, I really don't think that we would gain acceptance and come back up. I think we would drop. All right. So we'll have to wait and see as price unfolds to see what we would think about that. Yeah, so when it comes to all of the data, I don't so we got a question, what do you think about all the data coming out this week, bullish or bearish for the markets? So if we go over and take a look at what we had tomorrow, flash versus PMI, this looks like it's a little bit more of a significant event. The biggest one is U.S. advanced GDP data coming out. That's Thursday morning, and then core PCE price index on Friday morning at 7:30. I do not typically trade data release. I especially do not trade Friday data release days. I almost normally do not open up new positions on Fridays. It's just not something that I do. I don't think it's good risk management practice to do that. Unless it's unless it's early in the morning or right away at market open, then yeah, I might nibble on a position, but I'm not going to be opening up some massive new position on a Friday unless it was like totally irresistible, right? I'm not much of a data driven trader. I very much prefer to trade the charts. So what are the charts telling me? And that's kind of what we'll review. We'll go over a little bit here today as we continue. Retest short. Yeah, I'm not much of a data driven trader. I think that a lot of times these things are priced in. I do know that we experience volatility on those days. So like I know sometimes like people will refer to that and say, oh yeah, we'll get some volatility that day. Absolutely. But what typically happens, like let's just say if this candle is actually a really good example of what a data release looks like. I mean, I don't know if there was something this morning. Did we just get something? What time is it? Like maybe a little bit of something kind of. But all that typically happens, right, on a data release day, price will be like this leading up to it, and then it goes like this, and then we range inside that candle for forever. I mean, it's not typically, like here's all the previous PPI, did they signify a significant turn in the market each time? No, not at all. Like PPI did not provide any significant turnaround in the market. What we did is we got a super volatile 1 hour candle, and then price typically ranged within that candle for a while, and then it wound up doing what it wanted to do in the first place. Again, CPI. CPI provided a little bit more significant turns here and there, like here, but on this move up, who couldn't have guessed that we were going to, reject from here, right? I mean, even the channel, look, you can see it was rejecting from a point of resistance, right? Here, not so much of a difference, a little bit of volatility, and then, move up. Here we dumped hard into CPI release and then ranged. It's just you don't really get a whole lot out of it, in my opinion, right? I mean, is there something to be had there? Sure, but I think price is already on its path to doing what it wants to do. I think you'll get a 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour volatility candle, and then price just sort of moves on from there. So going back to, I'm gonna put some questions on hold for a minute here. Um, the one thing I will answer quick, just because it'll take me 2 seconds. No name. If you longed at 22,650, you longed at the bottom of the channel, okay? And when you channel trade, you long the bottom, take profit at the midline, take profit at the top. That's how you do it, right? And you can, after you take profit at the midline, you can set your stop loss at break even if you want, or you can keep it underneath here. Given the volatility on this candle and kind of the moves that we're looking at, I would definitely be taking profit at the midline or somewhere near there. Okay, so going back to what I was talking about, this is my 30-minute chart, and I love to have my 30-minute chart here. This is the one I trade on. I also then have open a 4-hour chart right next to it that I can just hop over to with some of my more high time frame levels here that I'm interested in. And then here I have my daily chart with our high time frame channel, right? With also some moving averages open and the RSI. Okay, and then here I have our weekly channel open. And what's so great about this, guys, is that oftentimes people get too stuck on these lower time frame channels. I mean, people will stare at the 5-minute chart, or the 3-minute chart, or even the 1-minute chart constantly, and they'll lose grasp on the bigger picture, right? So when I trade in this channel, it gives me realistic targets to be able to flip over to the 4-hour and say, okay, this is kind of where we're at on the 4-hour chart. This is what this is looking like. I can go over to the daily and I can say, I'll go ahead and hide this. I can go over to the daily and say, yep, we're definitely ranging. We're putting in 1, 2, going on our 3rd day of doji candles on the daily here. So, okay, that's a great sign for my range trading that I'm looking to do, right? And then I can go over to the weekly and I can say, all right, we've had 1, 2 large weekly candles that have been giving us almost a 40% pump, and we can see here that on the open of this, we opened to the upside, and now we're starting to form something of a doji on the weekly. But when I look at this now on the weekly time frame, I can sort of start to imagine or picture, sort of draw a mental image of what this next weekly candle could look like, right? Could it be something like this, right? Or will it come down? You can sort of start to draw a mental image that gives you more realistic targets when you go from your weekly to then your daily to your 4-hour and then down to your 30-minute time frame. I can start to really get an idea of more realistic targets, overall, right? So that is something that I really that I really recommend doing, is kind of keeping an eye on the bigger picture here. It really helps with my lower time frame trades. Quick question, how did you figure that would be the channel for Bitcoin so early on a 30-minute time frame? It was this candle, these 2 candles right here. I'll show you, and we'll do this, and then I'm actually going to take some time to dive into our analysis for today, and then we'll move on. If you guys have any more questions while I'm doing my analysis, I'll make a note of them and I'll be sure to answer them at the end when I'm all finished up here. So this is when I identified it. So there's a monthly level here. If I go ahead and hide this is a monthly level. It was an untapped monthly level. I've had it marked in my chart for several months. So there's our monthly, right? I have that set as the top of the range. So I identified this range right here, right at this moment. It was Saturday morning at about 9:30. And I identified it because we had this sort of sideways price action here, and we had this wick down that found support. So I put the basically put the bottom of the channel essentially at the bottom of this wick here, and then write it our monthly, right? This is what I did, and I said in the group, I said in the Discord, guys, I think that this will end up being our channel here, and we got a bit of a move up, and you know, I guess you guys know the rest. If we just go ahead and hit play here. All right, cool. So we rejected from the top of the channel. Great. Great short right here or short here. Take profit at the midline, fell right through. Take profit at the bottom of the channel. If we get the follow through here. There it is, our final take profit on our channel trading from the short. Then you can also flip long. So you flip long here, take profit here, or actually would have been here, right? Another potential long opportunity here if you front ran a little bit on the bottom of the channel. I don't always do that. Here, this one I really liked. I did trade this. I love deviation trades, so you can either enter here or on the back test of the bottom of the channel. See how it pumped in, back tested, and then continued up. Either one of these would have been a great entry. Take profit right there on that long. And that's it. How simple was that, right? So, yeah, that's about it. I encourage you guys, whenever I draw or share a channel in the Discord, please, please, please take the time to mark it on your charts if you're going to be channel trading. It's important to do. Yeah, I do these live streams at least 3 times. So I usually release a video 3 times a week. So it's not a live stream, it's just, you know, a straight video that I'll put out. It's typically 5 to 10 minutes long, and it's usually like a recap of this analysis that I'm doing here. In these live streams, I always do one on Wednesdays. I will sometimes usually do them on Mondays and Fridays as well. So content for me always comes out Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. I don't usually release content. Every once in a while I will if we get a big move. All right, cool. So I'm going to clean up our chart, and we're going to dive into some analysis on BTC and look at some new levels here. All right. All right, I'm just going to throw on some I don't know if
and you need this done by when?
Just gonna throw on a little music here, and then we're gonna dive into the charts and do some analysis here for the week. I don't know if this is gonna be good. All right, cool. All right, we're gonna dive in. I'm just gonna set my mic aside for a minute, and I'm gonna do some analysis. All right, I'll answer any questions at the end. All right. Um, okay, so from here, I guess before I dive in too much, there's one, it looks like there was just one question. How long did it take for you to learn these skills? Uh, well, I've been trading for, I took my first trade probably 8 years ago, but I've been trading full time for almost 2 years. It took me, here's the thing. Here's what I can tell you from my experience. It takes a lot of years. It takes at least a couple few years to get good at trading to where you can actually be consistently profitable. And I'm not talking about just like winging it trading. I'm talking like you're studying every day. You're charting, regularly. You're keeping a trading journal, the number one most important thing, and you especially take a lot of time to learn and understand risk management. So that would be kind of my 2 cents on that. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of dedication to become a consistently profitable trader, in my opinion. All right, so we have a handful of very interesting levels and zones. Um, Zooming in, if we just simply take a look just back at our local ranges, right? Let's go like this. So we have a lot of confluence surrounding these ranges right now. We just front ran this daily, it looks like. Let me just double check that. No, we broke through that daily. So this is technically an old one. I'm going to take it off of the chart. Although it is one that we flipped to support, I'm gonna take it off. The weekly open, I'm also going to hide because it's kind of in the middle of our range. We do have this fair value gap here, which I am going to keep. Let's look at the 4-hour fair value. Yeah, I'm going to keep that one. Okay, yeah, so for my analysis, I think that this run up is, I mean, it still looks good. Could we go higher? Yeah, for sure. I do think that I think we're coming up on some degree of maybe a bit more of a significant pullback. We haven't really had one, right? We've just pumped, ranged, pump, range, pump, range, pump, range. Um, I would say that we are coming up on something of, in the near future here, some degree of a pullback. So to the upside, um, if we were to, get some kind of a leg up out of here, I would really look to this zone sort of between 24,200 and 23,800, that kind of a zone there, for some degree of a short opportunity or for another range to be put in. So, let's say we range here, whatever, and we break up, I would expect then either some degree of a move down. I don't think it would look like that. It'd be kind of like this, and then some degree of a move down, or we get up into this area and we simply put in another range, right? We have another range up there. So for me, this is sort of the next key area of resistance, right around 24K. There's quite a bit of resistance there. To the downside, there's a couple areas I really that I actually really like. This green zone in general, I think, is very nice. It is the top of our previous channel, as you can see here. The naked point of control falls on the midline here. So what we could see happen if we did get a move down, maybe something like this, and we get a move back up here for a back test or continuation, or that pullback goes a little bit deeper. We tap the midline and then get that move up. These two areas I would really strongly look or to consider for some degree of a long. Could we make it down to this daily? Sure. Could we make it down to this order block? Sure. We could go a little bit lower. But for me, any of these areas would be great, but for, in my opinion, according to my analysis, like front running this daily, I think would be really awesome by tapping either the midline here or bouncing off the top of our previous channel here. To me, these two areas are really, really big. And if we do our Fibonacci retracement pull, I'm just gonna go ahead and hide this, and I'm going to put this on 618. We can see that the 618 falls spot on, pretty much right on top of the top of our channel here. So there's really a lot of confluence around this 21,400 zone. In the event that we do get a move down, I would definitely look to this area for a long, and I would long here with the intent for continuation to the upside, but at the very least to retest this zone here. So it would be like a nice 1K pump at the very least is kind of what I would be looking for in a trade in that scenario. Yeah, well, one of those two. I would say this one at the very least is what I like right off the bat. And then up here, like I said, and I drew these in accordance with time zone. So if it would happen, anywhere within this rectangle in terms of time, so basically for a long, anywhere from Tuesday early morning to Wednesday night, somewhere in there, if that were to happen here, I would look for a long opportunity. Meanwhile, here, basically in the latter half of the week or early next week, short up here. In the meantime, there's no reason we can't go back to our 30-minute time frame and continue to trade this range, right? So long the bottom, short the top, long the bottom, short the top, long the bottom, short the top, so on and so forth, until it does break down or out of this channel in some kind of a way. That's essentially what I'll be looking to do. So those are my areas of analysis. If you stuck around and watched, you saw why I chose these zones. In this area for my initial long and here for an initial short, I'm not using limit orders. I'm waiting until there is some degree of a move. I see the reaction and then I take a market order. And the reason we're doing that is because price could, being how it is, it could simply go like this and go straight up before then coming down straight through the level. So that's why I've been using market orders as of late, no longer doing limits with the way that the market's been trading right now. So those are my two areas for trades coming up here. In the meantime, I'm going to continue to simply trade this range. That's it. I'm going to keep it very simple. My next trade, if we didn't get continuation to the upside, another nice trade would be a deviation to the upside, similar to how we had a deviation to the downside here. That would be another nice range trade, right? And then maybe that could bring us back down to here. If price, and we covered this in the beginning here, so a deviation here could bring us down here. That would be a nice one in terms of our channel. Another nice channel trade. This was brought up earlier, right at the beginning of the live stream. The question was if we were to backtest, if we were to break out of this channel, on what conditions would I look for a short? And this would basically be it. I would look for, if I don't think that we would have a second deviation of the range if it broke down. I think if we were to deviate from here, get a proper backtest, I would look for a short stop loss above the mid-range here, and I would trade it down to our primary long target at about 21,400 zone. Okay. So yeah, as of right now, those are kind of the trades and the areas I'm looking for. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated in the Discord, but like I said, For the time being, I'm very simply going to trade the range. If we go on to a daily time frame, we can see we have 1, 2 doji candles, possibly a third in the making here, depending on if we continue the range or decide to break out again today or this week soon. So, all right, cool. Well, I'm going to cut it off there. I think an hour and a half is plenty. I will be doing a recap of the live stream later, where we do a very brief analysis or recap of the analysis that we did here during the live stream. I will be active and in the Discord through the remainder of the week up to Friday as per usual. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I will keep you guys updated on these charts, and I'll be sure to let you know when I am taking trades and where we're taking trades from. Later in the week, we are going to take a look at a couple different alts, but for today, I just wanted to start the week off by doing our usual catch up on BTC, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the Discord.